Hello and welcome to Divinely Empowered with Antonia. Today we have Vanessa Holzer, who's one of the advanced practitioners. She's a top-level practitioner with divine empowerment, but she is also an energy reader, a healer, a transmuter. She reads energy for people and the planet, a channeler, and she works with the body, mind, and soul. So exciting. So Vanessa is, I'm doing a subscriber session, which people may be aware of. We're doing it's a subscriber service, and it's 4 videos a month, 2 done by me and 2 done by my excellent practitioners and advanced and top level students, because they've all got a load of wisdom and amazing information beyond what I have. So Vanessa is doing a subscriber session this Saturday, the 8th, at 8 p.m. British Standard Time, which is noon Pacific, and she's going to be doing something on the ego versus soul. So I've invited Vanessa here to tell us exactly what she's going to be doing in her subscriber session on Saturday. So welcome, Vanessa.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Lovely. Okay, so we've got some people watching live, so welcome everyone who is watching live right now. And for those watching it later, welcome as well. So tell me, well, let's just learn a bit about you before we learn a bit about what's going on Saturday night. Who's Vanessa Holzer?
Yes, perfect. Hi there, everybody. Yes, so I am, I have a whole vast things about myself, and basically as Antonio was saying, I am an energy reader and transmuter. I have the ability to read energies really well, so I can tune into the energies of the ascension process at the moment, which is also why I'm bringing up the subject on Saturday, so that we can discuss more in detail this important process that some people may be feeling through this time, and to kind of distinguishing between those, which I explained to you. Also, I'm a channeler, and so I basically allow people to, so I get the expression of whatever needs to come out at that time. So I have a bigger awareness of how things work, and things come up mysteriously. So I have a deeper knowing of a few things. And as Tony said too, I work with mind, body, and soul in so many aspects. And I'm an advanced practitioner with divine empowerment, which has been amazing. And I just really am driven about helping people. And my purpose is to awaken people and allow people to connect back to themselves and understand the world much better, to create peace within themselves.
Amazing. So she's also unofficially our angel wing reader.
Yes.
So she has, she's one of the few practitioners. I think it's quite a specialized thing in some way, but she has the ability. She's a great seer, and one of the things that she can see is everyone's angel wings. So Vanessa's been with Divine Empowerment for many years, and we're always playing around with things. And I realized from our level 7 is when we started to change our chakra system around and expand it. So it's like the chakras don't exist in the typical way where they're very sort of stuck in little bubbles, but they're more, they're expanded into the whole. So it's sort of a combined, so they're separate. They can be seen as separate. They can go back into that, but they don't have the casing around them, which traditional chakras do. And Vanessa was looking into, we realized at that point that when we released part of our energy system and unlocked and awakened bits, that we actually had angel wings that started to develop. So initially they were sort of stuck to the back in sort of twine and tar, and then they've expanded beyond. So you're the one who's been able to see it. Do you want to tell us about the evolution of our angel wings, please? And where I am today as well. I haven't had the update myself. So tell everybody about it all the way through. And hello to Quantum Trace, and welcome today. Go on, tell us all about the angel wing progression.
Sure. So I had the chance of doing that, as I am a healer, and I'm able to see energy and feel energy. So it's more like I'm more feeling, but then in that, with the sense of feeling, I can also get to see. And as I was healing some people, I started to notice that I could see people having wings, and it really was as if it was also like an eagle. So they had wings which were around the shoulder blades, and then they had like claws that were around the hips, and they were held in by emotions, trauma, and so forth. They were kind of holding it in. And basically the wings are like an expansion of your soul, of your evolution. If you think of an eagle, how it's more free and strong and so forth. So that's nearly like a representation of our souls. And with all the emotions and so forth that have been stuck in our system, which I'll discuss more on Saturday, it's kind of kept us trapped into that. It kind of kept our wings tied up. And as we've been releasing, which again I'll discuss on Saturday, as we've been releasing these traumas and emotions and so forth that come out, it unravels the wings, and the wings start to come out, and they start to form, and they start in certain ways. So depending on all people, some people are slightly different, and so you have different versions of the wings. And as they expand and as they progress, and you start to release yourself, your soul, and release the emotions, the wings start to expand and change in many, many ways. So again, it just depends on every person. So it's an amazing experience, and just to see where the evolution is of people and where they are at.
So I think that there are different types of wings. That I think there are like quite different types of wings that you've spoken about to me. But I think that the divine empowerment wings, as they are releasing, I think that maybe they're angelic ones, and I think the people who are attracted to divine empowerment might be with some sort of angelic DNA or lineage or something. So I think that might be part of the reason why they seem to look quite similar. But they've gone through different stages and colors and shapes and sizes and expansions. Could you go into that a bit more, please?
Yeah, of course, yeah, definitely. So so I've had because I'm able to see and so forth, I have tuned into some people, and I've actually seen their wings being very different. So they can be really short and dark and different, where for us in the Antonia, it is quite interesting. It seems to be as if Antonia attracts a certain type of soul group, and the wings usually starts off like angelic with feathers and so forth, and then it starts expanding, and it starts to become more translucent and more like
Pearlescent,
solid,
wasn't
but
it? It was like pearlescent, like a
exactly
rainbow with
pearlescence,
with the
exactly,
shimmering
exactly.
colors. Yeah.
Exactly. And then they changing colors, like from white to gold and then to platinum, and expanding as we grow. And as the wings start to expand, I can feel as the energy starts to get stronger, which then makes your soul get stronger, which gets an interesting conversation, which Antonia is all about. One day she would like to teleport. It's a
Desperate.
possibility. Who knows what could happen? But our wings,
Desperate to
as they
teleport. It would just be
expand,
so useful.
yeah. Exactly. And through the work that we do through divine empowerment, with the process of it speeds up so much that we're able to see the wings expand at such a level. And as they're really growing and transforming, they are getting stronger and stronger. And so I can't see how we can't just be in one place. I think on a metaphysical level, we can also be in so many places, but on a physical level, and there's different levels, teleporting and going to interesting places, it's a possibility. So we'll have to just see where we go from there. Yes.
How are my wings looking? So, okay, so the stages were, just to
Yes.
break it down, as I remember it, it was sort of like almost like they were stuck to the back with twine around them and almost like covered in tar initially, because they were, and as you say, they were stuck there. I think it was to do with traumas. It was to do with our energy system just being very atrophied and not being used and not being expressed for millennia. I also think that it's to do with the precession of the equinox and us going into the golden age and various different factors, but largely our energy systems being entirely shut down, plus all the other stuff that we've dealt with, past life, current life, all the shutting down. So they looked like they were very stuck on the back like that and blackened with twine around them, as I remember it. And then I think that they started to, break free a little bit, and the tar started to go, but then there was still some threads, and then they started to sort of be without the threads and start looking like fluffy, like white feathers. And then they started to expand and expand and expand, and they got sort of wider and more spread. And then they started to go through, I think then they were pearlescent, and they got a bit sort of a bit denser. And then they've gone into sort of, I think the platinum, was it, where we are now? Where were we before just now? Is that right? Did I miss any stages out? Was that accurate?
No, you're accurate, exactly right. And as you expand it now, it's as if the wings stay out and they just keep getting stronger and stronger. Yeah, and it
So they're
goes,
getting
goes
thicker
into
or
reducing
denser,
platinum.
or what do you, how do you see them now? They're still platinum. Where am I at?
Yeah,
And can
perfect.
anyone else see them at home? If you can see them as well, put them in the comments, let me know. But what can you see right now, Vanessa?
Perfect. Yeah, so again, so I see the wings again, your wings are expanded. There's again that platinum with like a tinge of the translucent. So it's not like steel. So it's really it's strong, but it looks like it's see-through and it's like jelly, but it's not. It's super strong. And your wings are expanded and they're kind of narrowed out towards the ends. And they've gotten thicker and stronger in density is what I see
So
at the
do you
moment
know
and
what the
feel.
capability, what it actually means? I know we were talking about teleportation just a moment ago, but do you have any sense of what the dickens this actually means?
Uh, yes, I do have a sense, and I do sometimes get channeled messages through, and it's basically like what I'm seeing from that and picking up is that it's again, as I said before, it's like an expansion of where your soul is at that time, and so it's about a sense of freedom, and it's kind of letting us free from our physical body, which again goes into our conversation on Saturday, which I'm so excited to talk about because it will kind of put all the pieces together of what we're talking about now.
So tell us all
Yes.
about what you're doing on Saturday then. So she's doing a talk. I don't know that much about it. I'm learning with you, but it's on ego versus soul. So tell us what you're going to be doing on Saturday at 8 p.m. on the subscribers session. Go ahead.
Yes, no problem. So yeah, so as I said before, I read energies, and so I'm able to read the ascension energy. So I'm able to pick up what the energies are on the planet. So I'm aware of that. I'm very aware of the ascension. I'm totally in it, and obviously people are at different stages. But with that process, I have ability to kind of see, as a lot of people that are going through the ascension process, they would have noticed that like now through this process we're going through, like we've been doing this for years, but it's got more and more stronger. The energies are changing to allow us to transition through this ascension much more faster and move into, which I'll go into more detail on Saturday. But basically it's as if you, as you go into the process now, some people may be noticing that you have two entities within you. You have two different, totally different people inside of you, and you get the one that's like, "Yeah, let's go," and you get the other one is like, "Ah, don't do it, I'm scared." And so it's kind of, and you can actually, if some people are in a certain process, you can actually tell the difference between them because what's happening in this process is that the soul is wanting to take the seat. Like we're really starting to fall into our true self, our authentic self, our higher self, to who we truly are, which is our soul. And then in that, the physical body, the ego, and so forth has to release and expand. So with a lot of things that happen within us, traumas, when we don't deal with our emotions, all that kind of thing, it's all energy, and so it could all get stored in the body if we don't process our emotions right. There's any trauma, there's sometimes ancestry and things like that that are in the system that are holding us from being our true selves, from going into who we truly are and being who we truly are. Like there's a deeper inner knowing that we are more than we are in a daily life. There's a part of us that's not allowing us to be our full potential, and that's the ego. And at the moment, we're in the process of clearing it. It's been happening our whole life, but this process of ascension that we're really going into the golden age is really speeding up the process, and it's allowing us to release that. So in that, because the soul is trying to take the seat, it's kind of, I know some people may be feeling like the soul's pulling us, but then the physical body is trying to pull back. And you can actually tell the differences between. So on Saturday, I'll be discussing the differences between them both and how they work together, because at the end of the day, you can't hate any of them or dislike it. They have to have a relationship because you can't be on this earth without them both working. So it's about creating a relationship and then creating ways and talking about ways that you can help to create that relationship, to connect more to that ego part of yourself, to help the process of you releasing this energy out of your system. And so we're going to be going through a few tools and ways that we can get that going and go more detail so that everybody can understand at a deeper level, because I feel like if you understand and you get the idea of the two of them, you'll get stronger in that. You'll be able to distinguish between them, and everything, your healing will start happening better and will start to be more peaceful and accepting of the process that we're going through at the moment, and being at peace with it and not having a fight, too much of a fight.
So it's the integration of the two, the ego and the soul. Because I think
Exactly.
we need an ego. I think that ego has been demonized within spirituality, but it's really a sense of self and sense of individuality. Obviously, you know, if you're egoic, then you can be a bit of a twit and you can be, but I think that the difference is, it's like, I think the difference between confidence and ego in part is that you I think when you're confident, you want to bring other people with you, and when you're egoic, you think that you're the best and standing alone. I think that if you want to be working with people, it's not really coming from a place of ego. If you come, but you can stand proud and talk about what you're doing and be excited about your work and excited about, you know, things that are going on with you, as long as you're not like, I'm better than you and you're rubbish at everything. And, you know, I think that that's when it's really ego. But if you're sort of all playing together and all really excited about different things, then it's not necessarily ego. What do you think ego is in general?
That's exactly what I was going to say to you, because it's really important, because ego, a lot of people put our connotation as ego being like, it's like you say, like strong-willed and like not very nice people, but it's not about that. It's actually, as it's like ego, physical self in a child. It's the aspects of us that are basically on this physical plane. We have to survive, and we have a system within us that has to survive, and so it tries to protect us and help us to survive. So it creates processes within us that kind of create places, like can go so in detail, but basically we can also program ourselves as well as we grow up with certain things that happen in us, as well as that not having emotions dealt with. It all kind of comes together in this egoic physical self, which is just trying to protect. So if you have something very intense that happens to you, you get to basically, like, that's where like the limiting beliefs come in. So like what you're saying about the ego, like, oh, I'm better than you. What's happening with a lot of that is that they don't have self-confidence. There's something that happened in their childhood that's made them into that state of not feeling in authority, and in that they then behave a way to survive, and in that they do certain practices, which is like that, like talking over people, or, and there's, as I said, I'll go more in detail with it on Saturday. But the ego is very much a part of the physical body that has to exist. It's not really about just being angry or a horrible person. It's actually just a part of, it's just a word that's used for the physical body to help to keep you to survive, to make sure that you're safe and protected.
But I think it's been vilified, and I think that they've done that to squash spirituality. Maybe I'm conspiracy minded. I'm definitely conspiracy minded. But, but I think that there's an element that I think that it's necessary to have a sense of self, and I think it's a good thing. I think that we've been taught that being pious is the way that we're supposed to be. We are supposed to be small, and I think that means that you can never really show your magic if you're always denying it or is apologizing for it. I don't think it allows you to actually help, and you're not really in service if you're not talking about what you're doing, and yet it looks like as soon as you're talking about what you're doing that you're egocentric in some way. So I think it's actually purposefully being used as a weapon to stop people sharing their wisdom and their help. Do you?
Exactly. Yeah, totally. Exactly.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell us about Saturday? Or have you covered everything?
Yeah, I've pretty much covered everything. Just to go, I'll be going more in detail with that, and just helping you to understand it at a much deeper level, so that you can really get the idea of it. And yeah, so I look forward to sharing it. I'm very passionate about this subject, so I look forward to sharing it with everyone.
Great. So for anyone who would potentially like to become a subscriber, let me tell you more about this service. We do 4 videos a month, 2 from me. One of them is always choose your own adventure. So I get the audience, whoever's live with me, to choose what we can work on. The only thing off the table is energetic cellular regeneration. And then we do another one, which I pre-plan. I'm doing an emotional spring clean for my one. And then we have other sessions, 2 a month from other people. We've got Vanessa's Ego versus Soul, and we've also got Erin is doing one to do with color and sound and energy, and we have also an extra one this month, which is the second part of the tree workshop from Julia. Plus you have access to the whole library, which must be, I don't know, 20 or 30 videos by now, of all of the different healings. I did a great session on manifesting the other day last month as well. So that's available to you, plus different healings and various different things. At the moment, that's £55 a month, which is $69. But if you would like to join for the first month, we're making it half price, which you can use the code loyal50 at the checkout, or we're going to have a link below anyway. And then you can get it for £27, which is $34. So yeah, and if you can cancel at any time, so if it's not for you, you can just cancel it. But there's a huge amount of wisdom, not just from me, but from my very amazing practitioners. So yeah, if you'd like to become a subscriber, we'd love to have you. And Vanessa's session will be at 8 p.m. this Saturday, the 8th. That is British Standard Time. If you're in America, it would be noon PST. So, Vanessa, we did have a question from the audience, and I think this is quite it's comedy gold to me. It says, I kind of expected your wings to be gold, Antonia. What say you, Vanessa?
This is a funny subject. Yeah, this is really hilarious. So the reason being is because when I told Antonia her wings were platinum, she actually got quite heartbroken. But platinum is actually much more stronger and higher than gold and white. So gold and white is one level, but the platinum is higher. It's kind
Were
of
they
it's
gold
keeping the
before?
energy stable. Yes, they were. Yeah,
They
they
were
went from
gold.
white to gold. Yeah, translucent into platinum. Yes.
See,
Yes.
I know I'm so anyone who doesn't know me well won't know my obsession with gold. I quite like them to be gold, but hey ho, maybe they'll be gold and like a diamond encrusted.
Yeah. So if I put you, because I can totally feel the energy of it, it's basically, so the gold, if you think of it, and if you think of the color, it's really light. The platinum locks it in. So with the gold, you can kind of still apply, but the platinum locks it in, that there's no shifting, which is amazing. Like if you think of it as clearing all the physical parts of ourselves to make sure our true self comes in, it's never coming back again. We're going to be our true self. So the platinum is a level up from that. So yes, it locks us in. So it's amazing. It's actually a level up.
Cool. All right, brilliant. Thank you very much for being here, Vanessa. And yes, hopefully you'll have lots of lovely new subscribers coming to join. And yeah, look forward to everyone seeing you then. And then I will see you later in the month for my 2 sessions. Thank you, everybody. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Cool.